Hi, my name is Joel Comiskey, and I've noticed that oftentimes a church or a pastor will start well in the cell church journey, and then something will happen. There'll be a problem, a rule that just seems out of place that causes the church to stagnate. And in my book, Myths and Truths of the Cell-Based Church, I've tried to identify some of those pitfall landmines, and then also brought out a corresponding truth that I believe that will help the church and the pastor to avoid those myths. And in this video, I'd like to talk about some vision myths and then also some model myths. And the first vision myth is that the cell church strategy is a mega church strategy. Now, I don't know where this entered in, maybe because the largest church in the history of Christianity is a cell-based church in South Korea, and many huge mega churches are cell-based. But is cell-based church a mega church strategy? Really, the truth of the matter is that few cell churches reach mega church status. Very few. In fact, the majority of cell-based churches will be nimble. They'll be reproducing. In fact, I don't even believe that God has equipped pastors to manage such a huge mega cell church. Now, I do believe that some will reach that status, and praise God, maybe 1%. But really, I believe the goal is to make disciples and then to also multiply churches. Now, another myth is that the cell church does not work. And really, I think when pastors say this, what they're saying is that it doesn't work as quickly as I'd like, or maybe the church has not grown as rapidly. But the truth is this: cell church brings health, life, and growth. I believe, Pastor, as you implement the cell church strategy, you're going to help your people to use their gifts, to become the priests of the living God. In fact, there was a study done by Natural Church Development that compared cell churches with non-cell churches based on the 8 characteristics of natural church development. And this study, using millions of pieces of data, found that cell churches were far more healthy in all 8 of those characteristics, but also grew 2.5 times faster. We have that study on our website, and you can look at that. But Pastor, I would just say hang in there. God will give you the growth in His timing, and He'll cause your church to be healthier and also grow faster. Now, another myth is that the cell church is a fad. It's just here for a while and then there'll be a new fad. But the reality is that the cell church has deep roots. We're talking about Exodus 18, Jethro's advice to Moses. We're talking about Jesus Christ in the home groups, how that He had a house group. He sent His disciples into the homes. The early church was based in small groups, but also church history. We can see the Waldensians, we see the Moravians, we see the Methodists, up until the present modern day cell church. In fact, cell church is based on history. In fact, I was reading recently a book called Cells for Life, and Ron Trudginger wrote this book, Cells for Life, but I realized that he had written this book in the 70s, and his ministry took place in the early 70s, and now he's in heaven. And I thought to myself, there's nothing new under the sun. Hang in there, Pastor. God is going to use you and the cell ministry in your church. Now, another myth is that following a particular model will bring success. And this is where we enter into the model myths. And a lot of pastors go to a particular country to learn about a model, and they come back frustrated. In fact, I remember there were pastors in my living room one time, and they told me, they said, well, we were following Bethany World Prayer Center's model, and that didn't work. And then we went to the Rick Warren model, and that didn't bring the results we wanted. And now we're doing the G12 model. Later, I realized they had caught what I call model sickness. It's like a virus. And really, the truth of the matter is apply principles to your specific situation. Pastor, you're unique. Your church is unique. Your context is unique. And only principles applied correctly will really work in your situation. First, the biblical base, and then principles that all cell churches are following. That will bring the fruit that you're looking for. Now, another myth is that once you have a model, stick by it. In other words, once something starts working or clicking for you, you stick with that. But the truth is, innovate and change the model or the example as the Spirit leads. In other words, in your context, God is going to give you a model example strategy that works. But even when He does, always be innovating and saying, God, how can I change to better glorify you? That's what He wants. Another myth is that cell church focuses exclusively on the cell and celebration. And many pastors think that it's just cell and celebration. But the truth of the matter is that the cell church focuses on key systems that produce life in the cell and celebration. In other words, prayer needs to be the base, but then the equipping track, or the route, as many cell churches call it, the school of leaders, is so critical to prepare new teams, new leaders. But also the coaching is part of that system that needs to be in place. And so it's not just cell and celebration, it's developing the cell system that will bring life to your church. Again, my book, Myths and Truths of the Cell-Based Church, will really help you to take the next step and to avoid those pitfalls that could stagnate your church in the future. God bless you. If you like this video, please click on like and subscribe to our channel, but also check out the resources on our website.